my new moon energy reading. So, happy new moon to you guys. Happy solar eclipse. This is under the Aquarian energy. So, Aquarian energy, Jupiter energy, fate and destiny, exploration, expansion, and growth. So, let's get it. All right. So, I have pulled some cards from earlier. You guys probably maybe not recognize these cards from my community post from earlier today. I posted these cards alongside of a book, very dope book that I came across. Another book actually led me to discover this one. It's called The Witness of the Stars. It's a very dope astrology book from a biblical perspective. So if you guys are interested in that, I found it on Amazon actually. So yeah. Hey Gabby. All right, so the three cards that came out was the Nine of Cups, the Three of Pentacles, and the Knave of Wands, which would be the Page of Wands traditionally. Hey, Benita. Yeah, I haven't really got all the way into the book yet. I did skip to see what the Sagittarian energy was talking about. So I did post a picture of it. You guys can probably see it, zoom in and see, just a little bit of um, the Sagittarian energy. But the Nine of Cups, I looked at the meaning of these cards from the guidebook, like what this deck's meaning. And it's very interesting. Some of you guys might resonate with this message. Some of you may not. I mean, the universe is so expansive that any message like in relation to your destiny, anything pertaining to expansion and growth or um, opportunities, higher learning, what you're exploring. Definitely at this time, I can vouch for that. Anybody else that's been led to learn something different or study something or just kind of explore more things, definitely when it comes to like culture or literature, things like that, travel, this is the energy. So in the guidebook, I'm going to read the Nine of Cups. This is the Nine of Cups in this deck, and I'm going to read it to you guys. So it says, Joseph welcomed by the Pharaoh. So this is a story in the Bible, but it says promotion, increase in salary, and reward. So keep that in mind. Promotion, increase in salary, and reward. Let's look at what is this? The Three of Pentacles. Let's look at the Three of Pentacles. Saint Luke paints the Virgin, which is the Virgin Mary. It says, work upon request, glory without gain. Okay. Then we have the Knave of Wands, which is the Page of Wands. And the Page of Wands is good news, search for understanding, and end of rivalry. Okay. So for some of you, this message could be surrounding the workplace or something like that. And I feel that some of you guys could be artists of some sort. Doesn't have to be like just painting and drawing artistry. Something that you do well, a skill. With you focusing on the aspect of like just creating because you love to do it, doing something because you love it, not looking for any validation or glory, you guys are going to receive some type of promotion. And I've been saying this for, I don't know, for a minute now, that God has been showing me in messages that people are being recognized for their work. People are being watched for their work, their skills. And I feel like you guys are going up. Some of you guys, this is elevating in a company. This is elevation, maybe something with school, your education, someone wanting you to work as their understudy or something like that, or wanting to take you under their wing, someone of a higher stature than you. And the pages in the tarot traditionally represent students. They can represent students, they can represent messengers, young people. So you guys could be young or something, just period. You're in a I heard entry level, but that's not the right word. Um I can't remember what I was trying to say. Like, Spirit, you're gonna have to help me with this one. But I feel like for some of you, this is some type of promotion or promoting, spiritually being promoted. This is a level up for you in some type of way, whether this is business, career, or just you could just be a freelance artist, like you just, and I feel like you have someone that is a, let's say, a fan of yours, a supporter of yours, but like in the shadows, you don't know. And I've been saying this for a minute. And the Three of Pentacles usually is the card that I'm seeing. That card always comes out in that type of message, that type of reading. So the Three of Pentacles, the Nine of Cups, and the Page of Wands. The Nine of Cups, sorry, I keep wanting to say the Three of Cups. So you could be working alongside someone or working like in a collective or a group. But the Nine of Cups, um, Joseph welcomed by the Pharaoh. So pharaohs in the ancient times, they had high positions, right? So I feel like for a lot of you, there is someone maybe that's like high up in a company. Um, it could be anyone that I feel like is maybe more, let's say, skilled in what you do, and you would benefit off working alongside of them. Um, if I'm not mistaken, I want to make sure that I'm reading this right. This book actually is inspired by biblical scriptures and stuff like that. So they're parables. So I feel like it's important to note that really quick. The story of Joseph. Um, I want to, let me see here, because I feel like this is going to like tap into something more, a little more deeper. So just hang with me. Um, let me see. Mm, 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 mm. I just came across an article. So the story of Joseph being promoted by the Pharaoh is, if you care to read this, it's Genesis 41 and 1 through 45, if you want to look into that. This article, it says the promotion, where is it at? Whether on top of our game or in the pit of disaster, God is with us, not only claiming the presence, but actually blessing us with the gifts and connections needed to work well and diligently, escaping difficult conditions to a better place. 2 more years passed until Joseph gained an opportunity for release from his misery in prison. Pharaoh had begun to have disturbing dreams, and the chief cupbearer, wow, the cupbearer, that's Aquarian energy. That's interesting. Keep that in mind. Remembered the skill of the young Hebrew in prison. Pharaoh's dreams about cows and stalks of grain befuddled his most skilled counselors. Joseph testified to God's ability to provide interpretations and his own role as merely the mediator of this revelation. Before Pharaoh, Joseph did not use the covenant name of God exclusive to his own people. Instead, he consistently referred to God with more general terms, the Elohim. In so doing, Joseph avoided making any unnecessary offense, a point supported by the fact that Pharaoh credited God with revealing Joseph the meaning of Pharaoh's dreams. So I just want to like back up just for a quick second. Some of you guys, and I keep saying this. This is not just me saying. I'm just a messenger. Whenever God, the divine, gives me a message, it's very it's repetitive. Like, it won't stop. It won't leave me alone. Like, it just keeps coming back to back. So I'm telling y'all, like, whatever your gifts are, you have something. You guys have something that others need or will benefit from in a divine way, right? So Pharaoh, not even his highest counselors or whatever were able to interpret this message, his dream. Nobody could do it. And then he remembered, oh, this Hebrew, this prisoner, he actually can break this down, right? So you guys have a gift that people are going to need, and it's your divine gifts. And I don't know if I posted that video yet. I think I did. Or I've said it in a few messages that the opportunities that you're going to be given, most people is not going to go to someone just because they have skill in it. Like, it's going to go to the person that is most divinely willing to be as a divine vessel and utilized, versus people just because they have skill. So if you guys are saying to yourself, oh no, I can't, I can't see myself doing this or that because I didn't go to school for that. I don't have a degree in this, or I've only been doing this for such and such amount of years in comparison to someone maybe that's been doing it for 20 years, or has a degree in such and such, or whatever, or has a large following, or is a person that has a name. You know what I mean? I'm a nobody in comparison to that. But if you are divinely willing to be a divine messenger, then, or just of a divine use, you could be a divine use in any area. You could be a divine use in corporate. It doesn't matter. Yeah. Let me go back into it. It said, let me see. In the workplace, sometimes believers can, and it crashed. Interesting. In the workplace, sometimes believers can give God credit for their success in a shallow manner that ends up putting people off. Joseph's way of doing it impressed Pharaoh. Joseph's way of doing it impressed Pharaoh, showing that publicly giving God credit can be done in a believable way. God's presence with Joseph was obvious that Pharaoh promoted Joseph in the second command of Egypt, especially to take charge of the preparations for the coming famine. Let me just say this real quick. Because I feel like some people might be off-putted by my channel because I reference God a lot and I reference the Bible a lot, but I don't look at it from a religious dogmatic perspective, if that makes sense. I don't look at God in a religious way, if that makes sense. I don't put God into a box. But I do notice that the word God triggers a lot of people, and it might trigger the whole Christianity thing or the religious, like, I'm trying to get away from religion. But I've noticed a lot of people that claim to be spiritual, they've created a religion out of that itself. So, just hopping from one thing to another. So, but the part that stood out to me was the fact that Pharaoh appreciated Joseph's reverence and giving God the credit for their abilities and their gifts, not taking credit for their abilities and their skill and their gift, which made Joseph stand out to the Pharaoh. And another thing that stood out to me was the fact that Pharaoh, being an Egyptian, a person of prominence in Egypt, Joseph was a Hebrew. Hebrews and Egyptians had beef back then. So it really goes to show, and this is something that not only me, I'm not the only person that has gotten this message from the divine, but others have been getting the message that though people that usually would not work with others, like, let's say for instance, I'm not bumping shoulders with somebody that works at McDonald's. I'm the CEO of McDonald's. Why would I bump shoulders with this person that is actually working in McDonald's, not for the company, the corporate aspect of it? But it's like, certain people that would not work with others or be in the same room, or they come from different demographics or different social statuses, there's some type of favor. And I'm telling you again, I'm gonna go back to the Esther. Yeah, that's what it was. Thank you, God. I was talking about the story of Esther in one of the readings that I did this week, um, where I was saying that she was planted in that space to be queen, because she was in a beauty, pretty much a beauty competition, dating competition, whatever, with Persian maidens. She was a Hebrew. She had no business being in that she was a Jew. She had no business being in that competition. She had to cloak herself. So it was all divinely meant. It was more than just her winning favor to be married to the Persian king, but more so for her assignment that she was called for. She didn't know that at the time, though, of course. She didn't know that that would her position, that level up that she received, that promotion, being promoted as a queen, from a maiden to a queen, was going to lead to her being of usage to her people, right? So for some of you, it's bigger than what you think. Your gifts are just an entry level. I say this sometimes, like when people ask, like, what's my purpose, what's my calling, like if people ask me for those types of readings, usually what I have to tell them is like, our gifts and our callings are very different. Our gifts are the entry level that leads us to our purpose and our calling. Our gifts are just things that we were given, but our purpose and our calling is much bigger than our skill sets, our gifts, our talents. So those are part of it, right? So yeah, I can't shake this message. I don't know what else to say. Like, I just keep getting the same thing. Like, it just keeps coming in. It just keeps coming up. So it says Joseph's promotion brought him significant accoutrements, hopefully I'm saying that right, of leadership, a royal signet, ring, a gold chain, not a gold chain, fine clothing appropriate to his high office, official transportation, a new Egyptian name, and an Egyptian wife from an upper class family. Not he. I'm not trying to be funny, because when you read the Bible, you could really like it can still resonate with like modern stuff. Like you can apply it to your own life, and it would fit. Like, why does this sound like a dude that just got a record deal and like not he's I'm weak. Okay. So that's funny. Um, I feel like for some also one thing that stood out to me was pay attention to your dreams. Like you guys have the ability to um you have the ability to interpret dreams. Even if you feel like you don't like you're not able to do that, you have the ability to do that, or your dreams are going to be very, very clear, more clear than usual. So if you find yourself having like very, very vivid dreams than usual, pay attention to those dreams. And I feel like for some of you, it's funny because I had this conversation with a friend today. She was talking about like prophetic dreams being very strong nowadays. Some things are not going to be able, others are not going to be able to interpret things for you because you're meant to interpret for yourself. And I feel like that's also God trying to keep a message sacred to you. So other people are not supposed to hear the news or get the news or the message that's delivered to you, because it's something that you need to keep sacred to yourself. You need to keep it a secret between you and God, your divine, your creator, your angels. They're going to be giving you messages in your sleep, and it's not for everybody. And I'm a not trying to be like smart aleck or not the smart ass. I'm just gonna say this: have a dream and explain it to somebody and see if they're able to interpret it. Like, just try it and see. They might try to and say, oh, it might be but they're not, they can't, they're not going to be able to get it because it's not for them. And I feel like God is saying you have the ability to interpret your own dreams. Some of you guys, it might be a very significant dream that you already had that's going to come up during this time. During this new moon, you guys might have some type of message that comes through a dream, or a remembrance of a dream that you had in the past that has always stuck with you. And I feel like this dream has been kept sacred to you anyway. Like, you naturally just kept it to yourself. You never told anybody, or maybe you kept certain things to yourself, or yeah. And I would also say too, at this time, you might actually be someone that is able to interpret something for someone that others cannot. So you don't have to be a tarot reader or nothing. You might not even think of yourself as having psychic abilities or whatever, but someone is going to need your assistance. And I feel like you, whatever, you might just, I feel like you're just going to say it on the fly. Like, you don't even know that you're giving them some type of message. Like, you're just talking, just normally, just, you're not thinking in your head, oh, I'm delivering a message. You're just talking, and you help somebody with something. But, some of you, yeah. Okay, thank you. Some of you guys are getting dreams of you being prepared, or you being called to some type of higher position or something. If it's not a position, it's something like the next step or next aspect of your journey, where there's some type of level up that's very, very significant. Because if you think about the Sagittarian energy, which our new moon is under, and we're in the season of Sagittarius as I'm recording this. So if you watch this later on, it can still apply to you. You know, God is very, very clever. So, you know, you can watch this during, I don't know, Pisces season. It could still resonate with you. But Sagittarius energy deals with the planet Jupiter. Jupiter deals with luck, fortune, fame, or just recognition. Let's say it doesn't have to be too much fame, because that word is a trigger word, because I feel like it's kind of, it sparks egotistical energy. But just being recognized, maybe being, placed in a high position. And I feel like it may not be an overnight thing. For some of you, it very well could be, because when you look at, if you feel led to, after this, watching this, read the story of Joseph, and maybe something about it might resonate with you. I don't know. Just as a reference, y'all can look it up. He came, that name, G. G Spirit, I wonder what you saying. Cause somebody needs to hear this. Cause that name, Joseph, was it Joseph or was it Jacob? Jacob, I believe, was it Jacob? He represents the tribe of Judah, right? I think he was the child that, let me see. I could be wrong. Hold on. Yeah, Joseph was the son of Jacob. Joseph was the one that his father favored the most, right? Joseph, he was gifted by his father this robe that had all these colors on it. And the colors represent favor and blessings. The rest of his brothers, he was one of the 12 sons of Jacob. And his brothers despised him. They were jealous of him. So they sold him into slavery. Yes. God, I don't even know why did Joseph come to me? I think it was yesterday. I don't know why. Why was I led to look up Jacob? I don't know. I don't remember why. It doesn't matter right now. It'll probably come to me later. But anyway, so Jacob, son Joseph, he was sold into slavery by his 11 other brothers, because he's one of the 12 sons. So his 11 brothers, they was all conspiring or whatever to sell him into slavery, which they did. So God had a bigger plan for Joseph anyway. So that's the key thing. Some people may try to hide you. They may try to, they try to hide him. They try to silence him. They try to, like, because of their jealousy or their hatred. Some of you guys, that might be your story. You might be hated. You know, nowadays people hate. I mean, it's not nowadays, it's just period. And hate is just so easy amongst us brothers and sisters out in the world. Like, it's so easy for people, and it's a human nature. But it's, if it's not nipped in the bud and you don't heal it and you don't address why you have envy or jealousy towards, other people, or it can get very ugly. It can turn into a very nasty thing. It leads to, you can be jealous of your lovers, you can be jealous of your family, you can be jealous of your friends, you can be jealous of your coworkers, and it's very sad. And sometimes that spirit, that seed gets so nasty that it leads to people doing very dangerous things and harmful things to other people, because jealousy and envy is a root of what they say, root of evil. It is. If you don't nip that in the bud, you don't address it, you don't heal it, it can turn very deadly. It's not good. So, but the whole message in that, some of you guys, you might deal with people that have that spirit on them, right? Where they don't like to see other people happy. You might deal with people, keep trying to keep you hidden, or trying to downplay you, or trying to keep you from leveling up, whether they're saying things to you or they're doing things behind your back, going to your boss and saying, oh, I don't think this person is doing this, and or whatever the case may be, trying to hide you, trying to silence you. No matter what the weapon that is formed against you, it's not going to prosper. So take the story of Joseph in that perspective, that though he was sold into slavery and all of that, it didn't stop his blessing. It didn't stop his favor. It didn't stop his promise. Okay? He was a prisoner and he got elevated as being a part of the Egyptian, empire. As the article said, he got his own car. So if you look at it from modern times, I guess you could say he had his own limo. I don't know, a gold chain. And these are just parables. So if you take it from that instance, it's like God's always going to provide, and God will work through someone else that doesn't, because Egyptians don't share the same faiths and beliefs as Hebrews did, right? So someone may not believe in the same things that you do, or you guys might come from different statuses or classes or levels or whatever, or positions in life. But that heart, that the divine works through other vessels that will work with you, right? So I feel like for some of you, you need to know that no matter what has happened, no matter where you are today, that doesn't promise, that you'll always be in that position, however you want to take it. If you look at it, okay, I was a prisoner at one point in my life, or I was homeless at one point in my life, or I was, fired or ostracized, or I went through a bad breakup and I thought that I could never be happy, that there's something seasons. And that's another thing too. Thank you, God. The Wheel of Fortune is ruled by Jupiter in the tarot. That's the Jupiter card, right? And Sagittarius is Jupiter. Seasons change all the time. Fate and destiny, you have the ability to weave and align with your divine destiny that's already been appointed for you. So tap into what the divine has for you. And I feel like some of you guys already know to an extent, or you're given a message about it, something that is being given to you, instilled into you, whether it's a dream, whether it's an impression, a feeling, a knowing. Continue to believe in that thing. Still have faith in that thing. Because I'm telling you, whoever this message is for, because YouTube is, I'm gonna just say it, my channel is already like under whatever it's under, so I don't care. Like, YouTube, it is what it is. But I don't know how is it that I have like 20 subscribers. I have 20, not 20, I have 20,000 subscribers, and I get very minimal views. Like, I noticed that when I started talking about God more on my channel, my viewership, it's like almost like, I don't know. I still tag my channel the same way. I still go about it in the same way. And it's like my channel is almost like it's been sabotaged. And I've heard some readers say that their channel has like suffered a little bit. And when you talk about certain things, they censor your channel. So I think my channel is on one of those censorships where they don't allow me to get certain views or whatever. It is what it is. If you don't play the money game with them, or you don't play with, fall under in alignment with what they want you to talk about or what's trendy or whatever, they're not going to pay you for it. And I shared a video from another content creator. She talks more about social and racial issues and stuff like that. She was just talking about that. Yeah, I get shadow banned. I know my channel's already been shadow banned, or most of my videos have been at least. So I said that to say that this is just an example. Whoever's meant to get the message, I trust that God is going to deliver this message to whoever's supposed to hear it, regardless of that. I don't have to have 10,000 views for someone to watch this, because it could be 10,000 views, but only 5 people take the message and really do something with it for themselves to like edify themselves and align themselves to whatever it is that the divine has for them, versus the other group of that 10,000 watching it and getting the thrill out of it and it feels good, but not applying it to their life, right? Or hearing it and just being like, whatever, clicking off. It's whoever it's meant for. I trust that it's going to reach those people, right? Because I'm not sitting on here to fit into the mold or to tell people what they want to hear and to feed the masses. I have to honor what my relationship with God as a messenger, as my whatever my position or my purpose is. I have to honor that. We all have a calling. We all have a purpose in this life. And when we take that stance to say, I'm going to take heed and I'm going to honor and be, I guess you could say obedient, but that word could be triggering for some of you. I'm going to honor, I'm going to take heed, I'm going to walk in my path, and I'm going to walk in my purpose in the way that the Most High, my divine creator, has set for me. And however that works, I have to be okay with that, even if nobody else understands it or they don't agree with it. But those that are meant to resonate with you, whether you're a messenger, whether you're called to do something, because let's use this as an example. I used him as an example a couple of times recently, but let's say, and you guys might not agree with his positioning. You don't have to. That's what he was called to do. So I'm using Colin Kaepernick as an example. He's a football player, but he felt led to stand for something, right? Though it cost him his career, he did it anyway. That too many people are not going to do that. They're just not. He's still, he's still able to make money, but it did cost him his career though. So, yeah, it's just what it comes to. But no matter what happens to you, God is always going to make a way for you, regardless of what it looks like, what it seems like. So by being in alignment with your fate, your destiny, and aligning yourself with that, you're going to reap the rewards out of it. And sometimes the reward is not, it's not only, or is it ever, sometimes it may not be solely, or if at all, about the material. I'm going to read this card's meaning again, because there's a part that stood out to me. The Three of Pentacles, it says, work upon request, glory without gain. So sometimes the glory, it's not always about gaining something. The glory comes in whatever it is that you're providing, what you're giving, what you're sharing, what you bring to the table. It doesn't always have to be about gain, but again, you're not going to be left without though. That's not what it's saying. It's not saying that you're not going to be without. I'm not speaking for those that are ego driven, that are seeking to get validation from the world or seeking to get famous. Because when I talk about these messages, Spirit is really like, just put it on me to just be like, I have to keep saying it, because some people don't get it. There's people that are going to be put in high positions, yes. But these are people that are humble spirits. They're not coming into these high, because some people, it might appeal to the ear of a person that gets excited to hear that they're going to be in a high position because they're thinking about fame, they're thinking about fortune, they're thinking about attention, they're thinking about, oh, I get to be here, I get to do this. No, this isn't about you. It's not about you. It's about what you come to do, that you were divinely called to do. You're going to get some, rewards and all of that. You're going to be taken care of and all of that, but it's not about that. So that part of you has to be extracted. If there's any part of you that knows that you're called to be in a high position, but you still have that itch to be recognized, be to be famous, or to get glory, to get recognition, to be praised by people, to have all this money and all of that. If that's your root in it, you're not ready. You do what you do because you love it, because you're passionate about it, or you have a love for God, for the creator, for the planet, for others. That's the heart that you have to have. Because not everybody's going to like you. It might take a minute for people to really appreciate who you are and what you are. Because it takes that one person that gives you that chance, and it's like, we might come from different worlds, different backgrounds, but there's something about you. I feel led to do this for you. I don't know if you guys ever experienced something like that before, where somebody said, I usually don't do this, but I felt led to do this for you. Something just made me, I don't know, I just, it's that type of energy. The chosen ones are not the ones that everybody likes. It's just not what it is. When you're chosen, that means you're here to change the planet. You're here to change the frequency on the planet. So not everybody's going to like you. If everybody likes you, then that means you are a part of the world. You are of the world. You fit in too much. You're not going to fit in. You're just not. And then eventually, the ones that usually get laughed at, that's the ones that everybody's going to look to, because they're different. They stand out, and they have something to bring to the table. They're not a clone. They're not walking around like everybody else, talking like everybody else. You're not going to be liked by everybody, and that's okay. You're not supposed to. You're supposed to change the frequency on this planet. And unfortunately, this planet has become very heartless, and self-glorifying and instant gratification. There's no Christ consciousness on the planet. And when the community talks, like the spiritual community talks about Christ consciousness, it is that higher level of ascension with the oneness of your creator. How do you get to that? Through the heart chakra. And as you know, getting to the heart chakra, that's probably one of the most hardest chakras to work on, because you have to heal all the pain that you come into this earthly realm with, that also the earthly realm, your upbringing, the pain that you go through, the life experiences that you have, the inner child wounds, the programming that you get just instilled when you come into this earthly realm. When you have that heart, when your heart chakra is really in that alignment through humbleness and the Christ consciousness, when you talk about Christ, and I would encourage you guys, if this resonates with you, you don't have to be a religious person to get it. Look at the Bible as a story, and look at it from how it applies to your life. The book of Mark, like I said in another video, I was led to read the book of Mark. And that's more going into the story of Jesus and his walk, his path, him going through his walk and his path with his disciples and the miracles that they were doing and things like that, all the way up to his crucifixion. His crucifixion in itself, if you think about it, he was giving up his flesh. Let's look at it from a metaphoric level. He was given up by one of his closest people, one of his disciples. And the people already in that city did not like him already. So they needed a reason to persecute him. So He had to give over. He knew what his purpose was. And he knew that in the end, he had to give up his flesh, his ego. He had to give all of that up for the greater cause, right? For the humanity, for the planet, right? As a light worker, let's use it as that. He knew that he had to give that up. And just before he passed away, he said, not my will, but thy will be done. So not my fleshly, my physical, what I want to do and what I think, oh, because what we think when we come down to this planet, it's a lot of conditioning. Soon as we get here, our mom's telling us what we should do, what we shouldn't. Our grandparents, our mom, our dad, the school is telling you. The TV is telling you what's cool, what's trendy, what's not, what's this, what's beautiful, what's this, what's that, what success means. So it's all dogma from this physical plane, right? When you give that up and you say, not my will, but thy will, my creator, the one that created me, who knows me through and through, better than anybody on this physical, better than my mama knows me, right? Better than my grandma, better than I know myself knows me. Not my will, but your will be done. So when he passed, that represented him giving up his flesh. When you look at the hermit, are they not the hermit? We could take the hermit too into this, but if you look at the hangman card in traditional tarot, it depicts that whole Christ-like energy, him having to give up something to change his perspective and reach that enlightenment. If you look at the hermit, he has the not the, why I keep saying the hermit, the hangman, he has that halo over his head. That is the awakening, that is the ascension. So Christ represents that, giving up, and they always depict him as having the sacred heart. I just so happen to have this candle on my table. The sacred heart of Christ, that is the heart chakra. That is where the ascension happens. It unlocks all and everything else. When you tap into that heart space, that is where the humbleness comes. That's where the integrity comes in. That's where all the beauty comes in. What he represented. Make no mistake, he wasn't no like punk though. He wasn't like, he didn't play no games. He was straight up. He was matter of fact. People didn't like him. A lot of people did not like him. They accused him of being a sorcerer, into witchcraft, all that stuff. Because he was doing things that was like, how was he able to do all of this? How is the people that follow him able to do this? And other people by word of mouth was like, I'm trying to see what he can do. I heard about you. I need help, right? But there were still people that did not like him. So he wasn't popular either. You have to have a divine heart. It does require humbleness. And as humans, we are flawed. And it's not always peachy. It's not always fun. There's going to be times where you don't like people. You don't like people. There's going to be times where you're just like, I don't even know what I signed up for. And that's why people don't choose the path of walking in their divine purpose. As they say, many are called, but few are chosen, because a lot of people, they can't hang. It's like, no, it's easy. I'm going to just do it the easy way in life. Oh, I'm going to just do this, or I'm just going to conform to the world. It's easy to do that. It's easy to do that. I'm going to be honest too. There's times where I'll be like, shit, I might as well just become a stripper because, I'm not balling. God provides for me when I need it. When I want certain things, God will usually come through, eventually come through, but I'm not balling. So it's easy to be like, I want to drop off. Like, let me just be a stripper. Oh, I might as well. Oh, let me sell some, some kitty cat. But that's not for me. It's not. That's too easy. That's not the path that I was called to. Like, that's not the path that I was called to. Like, your favor will get you in places, but you got to be able to trust. So if you just give up, because desperation, and this is another thing that I wanted to talk about. I think I was going to save this for another reading, but since we in it, I guess God was like, oh, this girl, she ain't going to do it when I told her, because I didn't. I'll be honest. I didn't do it when I was supposed to do it. But I was being guided to say, I'm probably still going to do that video actually, but I was guided to say in that video that for those of you that are going to be called to a high level of influence, that whole desire to be famous is not about your glory. It's not about attention for yourself. That that desire for fame is going to have to leave, because if you have that in you, it's going to be very easy for you to be persuaded to do something you're not supposed to do, or it's going out of alignment. Because when you're in the place of most vulnerable space, that's when the temptation is it comes, guaranteed. I promise you. And some of you guys already experienced this before, maybe a few times in your life, where you don't have something. Let's say you don't have enough money to pay for a bill or something, or you'll do something desperate, or you'll think about it like, oh, I should just why don't I just, and that temptation calls, that temptation or that desire to go ahead and do something that's out of alignment of what you're supposed to do creeps up on you. So God brought back to my attention when Jesus was fasting and the devil came to tempt him, and he was like, aren't you God's son? Can't you, like, you hungry? You over here starving. You hungry. I know you hungry. Why can't you why can't you create some bread for yourself, right? And in modern times, we call bread money, right? He's like, you over here hungry. You starving. You the son of God. You can't create bread. And he was like, man can live off of the word. I don't need the bread, right? I can eat off of the word of God, right? So he just kept rebuttaling him. Then he said, well, he tried to, do one better. He was like, okay, well, all this could be yours. This and that can be yours. But Jesus rebutted him again and was like, I've already been promised the kingdom. I don't know what you trying to entice me with all of this for, because I already know what my purpose, I already know what my promise is. I already know what my calling is. Like, and that's how you have to be. You have to remind yourself that you're going to be provided for, and you don't have to do something. A lot of people get desperate. I'm not shaming anybody. It is what it is. Like, we can always, do better, and there's no need in shaming ourselves, because the universe, the Most High, God loves us unconditionally. So there's no need to shame yourself. But let's say you get called to do, I don't know, you get called for a record deal. And I don't know why my phone is claiming that my phone's not charging when it is in fact charged. It's trying to say I have 10%, which is interesting. Let's say that you do get a record deal or something, right? Yeah, this is weird. This phone's charging, so why aren't you charging? Interesting. Anyway, so you get the record deal, and the record deal, one person might have had to do something a little sinister. Or I'm gonna just use it light, because I'm just saying allegedly, because I can't say all of that, This contract that this one person signed pretty much says that they have to wear what they tell them to wear. They have to sing, rap, whatever, write whatever they want them to write or sing or rap, right? Whereas you might have another opportunity that God has for you, or a better record contract, or maybe no contract at all. You have some better opportunity to work in that business that will still be fruitful for you. But that temptation creeps in, and that person hits you up at the right time. And you go ahead and you sign something that you shouldn't have signed, right? Rather than waiting and knowing, like, no, God told me that such and such was going to happen to me, and I don't have to do all of that. and you just trust and you release it. Never have the times that I did go out of like alignment and try to like do some stuff on my own that didn't work out. There's times where I didn't do it and I was like, okay, well, I'm gonna trust God. I'm gonna sit back. I'm not gonna try to make things happen on my own. I'm just gonna sit back and trust, right? Never have I been without. Every time I've always been good when I've trusted and just like said, okay, I don't have to worry. Like, I don't have to do anything extra. God is solid. Always been solid. So I don't know who asked for it, but you don't gotta do any funny stuff. And like some people be doing like spells to get their channels up and do witchcraft and all of that, and just to get money, just to get views and stuff. You don't gotta do all of that. Buy followers and subscribers and shit. You don't gotta do that. You don't. What's meant for you is not going to pass you by. You don't gotta do anything extra to get it that you're gonna regret later. So yeah, you don't gotta sleep with the boss to get ahead or throw somebody else under the bus to get the position. You don't gotta do none of that sinister, sneaky, shady, devilish stuff to get where you're meant to be called and go. That stuff is going to catch up to people later. If it doesn't catch them immediately, it's going to catch up later on, regardless. So you, if you resonate with this, like really just sit tight and be faithful, meaning just trust your time is going to come. You're going to have divine helpers. Like I said, people that you wouldn't expect to want to like, you know, fuck with what you got going on. They're going to like, they are going to be like, hey, like, I don't know what it is about you or it's something, but yeah, I can't escape these messages. They keep coming. So I don't know who they're for. If it's like trying to speak to the same people over and over again, or like whoever else might be new to hear whatever the message is. And it's, I'm not telling you anything really that you don't already know. You already know this for yourself. Maybe to some degree it's like more revelation or something, but essentially you should already know this because it was given to you. If it's for you, it was already given to you. Okay. All right. I think I've done enough talking, but I want to pull one more card from this new deck that I just got this evening called the Lightworker Oracle. Hermits Unite. Okay. Dark Night of the Soul, number 16. So some of you guys, you're still working through some shadows. It's okay. Past life activation. So you guys are clearing and healing some past life energy. But ooh, the Rainbow Bridge. That rainbow symbolism is coming in heavy. And the Rainbow Bridge, I keep hearing people talk about it lately too. My nails, I be biting my nails sometimes. So don't judge my nails. But the ascension of the Rainbow Bridge, that's where this is leading. Look up the Rainbow Bridge. But also, I had to point out, too, that the promise, and that's another thing, God led me to the book of Noah the other day. I think it was yesterday. The rainbow is that promise, is that covenant. But also, the Rainbow Bridge can also represent the other side, the spirit, the other side of transitioning to the other side. In Polynesian culture, too, the rainbow symbolizes the spirit, the bridge between the physical and the spirit realm. So yeah, it's a lot of activation, spiritual activation surrounding the past life. And that's going to help you with your dark night of the soul, help you to discover what it is that you need to heal or what's currently being healed, what you're currently releasing, so that you can align with your fate and your destiny that you're being called to in this lifetime. These are some beautiful cards. I just gotta say, these are beautiful cards. Look at these. They're beautiful. Okay. So you notice that these people are in a meditative state. So some of you guys like really spend time with the divine, like really go within, silence your mind, tune into the, go somewhere quiet, or when it's quiet, like just go into yourself and like pay attention to the sounds around you so that you get into that place of silence in your mind and tap into the divine. Call call on the Most High, call on the divine, or the Holy Spirit, and sit in that energy. Just sit with yourself, and whatever comes up, if it's something that's like, if you hear like negative talk, negative self-talk, or negative things, denounce it right away, because that's a distraction. Come back and tap in. And if you start to feel something, a memory from the past that comes up, that's most likely spirit showing you something that needs to be released. So don't stuff it down. Like if you hear something like, oh, you're stupid, and just comes out of nowhere, oh, you're dumb, this isn't going to work, ignore that, because that's a distraction. Don't tap into that. So just close that out. But if you're getting memories of something that happened to you, or something that's still bothering you, or a person comes to mind, it might be something that spirit is telling you that needs to be healed or needs to be addressed. Okay. However you go into meditation, you know how to do it. But I feel like, in short, spirit is telling you to tap into self, go in and deal with those past life energies, because there's a lot of healing that's taken place. A lot of healing. If you feel led to do a spiritual bath, do that. Spirits bring me back. One of my spiritual sisters, shout out to her, she made a bath for me. It was a bath, like a herbal bath, and it had all these herbs in it and everything. And I was dealing with a lot of like issues with my family at the time, like argument with a family member or whatever. And I had just did a family tree ritual, like cleansing, like just getting to the root of certain traumatic energies, generational trauma and curses and stuff. And I got attacked by a family member that day. So that bath, I was like, okay, I'm going to release whatever this is off of me. I took this bath. When I got into the bath, I was just like going into myself, right? Like just sitting within myself. And that's when I started having all these flashes, and I saw like a group of ancestors around me, or what I felt to be ancestors around me. And I seen like this rainbow, just this energy, like this rainbow, all these colors of rainbows in my mind's eye. I seen this while I was in the bath in meditation. So after that, when I got out of that bath, I just felt different. I was about to take a nap, and I told this story before, but this is just what I'm going somewhere with this. When I got out of that bath, I was laying down to take a nap. It was my intention to take a nap at least. And I was listening to a YouTube video, and it was like speaking to my soul. All of a sudden, I heard an audible voice, very subtle, very peaceful, get up. And I got up, I sat up in my bed, and I was just like, kind of like, okay, like, what's going on? Like, I was still kind of feeling a little hurt by the argument that I had with that family member earlier that in the day. So I was still kind of carrying that with me a little bit. So I'm just like, okay, what's going on? So I heard, breathe, take a deep breath. And I took a deep breath, and all of a sudden I started speaking in tongues, as they call it in church, speaking in tongues. Some people, I guess, in the spiritual community might call it light language. It just started coming out. I couldn't stop it. It was just flowing out of me. And I was crying because it was such a relief. I couldn't believe what was happening. I couldn't stop it. I couldn't control it. So something was, I had to release. Excuse me, my throat's trying to get clogged up. I had to release something in order for that to be activated in me. Now I can just do it right on the spot. But it was that just, I don't know, that probably was one of the biggest, one of my most cherished moments I've had in spirit with God. If I've ever doubted God before, I can't. And there's so many other things that I could say, but that was like, I had to really surrender and trust in that moment, because I had to really listen to that voice. I couldn't ignore the voice. It was that clear. So I just got up and I just took a deep breath, and I couldn't stop the word. I couldn't, it was just coming out of me. And I was crying, not crying because I was sad, but it was like a relief. And it was like, I felt God and I couldn't control it. It just, I don't know how to explain that experience, but whatever is on you that you're being called to release, long story short, what I'm saying is, whatever it is that you're being called to release, let it go, because there's an activation that's supposed to happen. There's something that's being activated within you. And since we're talking about destiny and purpose and your calling and higher position, there's things that could be blocking you from getting to that appointed place, and Spirit is showing you what it is that needs to be burnt off of you. Like, fall off, cleansed off of your mind, of your heart. Forgiveness. I just forget. Yeah, forgive. Who do you need to forgive? If it's yourself, deal with the shame, deal with the humiliation, deal with the embarrassment. For some of you, those are things that you're dealing with. Insecurity, self-doubt, resentment towards other people. It's blocking your blessing. Jealousy, fear. These things are blocking your blessing. And I use myself as a testimony, because if my whoever, I ain't Miss whatever, popular, Miss Perfect. So if God can use my ass for certain things to deliver certain messages, okay, so be it. The whole thing with my fear with the plane, like, I haven't rode a plane until recently. I didn't get on a plane. I haven't been on one since I was 13 years old. And I'm 30 something now. And I just got on a plane again. I had this fear, just deep embedded fear, because of 9/11. The whole Aliyah thing traumatized me a lot. So I was scared to get on the plane after that, but my mom had to walk me through that. But after 9/11 happened, I just couldn't get on a plane. I was like traumatized by that. So I had to get over that. Because if you're, let's say, if you're a plane, you have a ministry or you have a calling, you have a purpose that requires you to travel, what you gonna tell people? Oh, I can't come to that meeting. Oh, I can't come to that seminar because of my fear. You can't, whatever it is, you can't have that there, because it's blocking you. It's blocking you. Fear comes from an illusion. The spirit of fear does not come from the divine. It does not come from the Most High. Fear comes from a place of trying to limit you and cap you. It's an illusion. So illusions and all of that, you can't have that. And another thing too, what fear does is it keeps you from tapping into your spiritual self. So like I was saying with the whole meditation thing, thank you, Spirit. When you go into meditation and you start to have like something that tries to stop you, like whether it's a negative thought or you hear something said to you, or you have like a fear of like, oh, I can't, and it stops you. It's like that glass ceiling that you have to break, because your consciousness is like, no, I'm trying to get higher. I have to tap into that divine antenna to get the message. When you're up there, you can see things from a higher perspective down here. So when any little thing comes your way, it's like, I'm not tripping off of that, because I'm in the higher realms and I know what really is going on, because I have the divine intel. Y'all can stop sending me bots on my channel, like fake religious bots on my channel. Like, just stop. Like, some of these Christians that think they're going to what they call heaven and all of that, and they come from like a place of malice, like trying to curse everybody and all of that. You're not coming from God. So I don't know what y'all talking about with that. So y'all can stop coming on my channel. You're not coming from God. I just felt that energy that you was trying to send. Like, stop. For real. Stop. And that's what I'm saying. Like, this planet is too much. You can tell who's coming from, even if they are Christian. Some Christians are different from others. Some Christians will come with you with love and try to explain to you. They don't come at you calling you devils and demons and, oh, you're going to hell. You can't damn somebody to hell. You're not God. So that just lets me know like what energy you're operating in. You're not really truly tapped into that God spirit. So I don't want to hear it. That was a bot. That wasn't a real, I don't know who that was. I don't know if it was a troll or it was a YouTube bot, but you can go sit down somewhere. But yeah. And unfortunately, that's why a lot of people want to run from when they hear the word God. They steer away from it because that religious spirit that a lot of people have been oppressed and suppressed by for so long, so many years, are hearing that oh, you're the devil, you're going to hell. Like, who wants to hear that? You guys preach about love and unconditional love and this and this and that, but y'all coming at people like this. I can see why people like shy away from hearing anything about God or Jesus or the Bible, because humans get a hold of something and they're going to demonize it. Unfortunately, they get a hold of something, then they get overzealous, and then they think that they can demonize and condemn everybody to hell. Like, go sit down somewhere. Like, go really read the Bible from a more clear-hearted space, because y'all doing too much. It's ridiculous. You can't damn anybody to hell. You're not God. So anyway, yeah, we're gonna leave it at that. Goodness, people are crazy out here. I used to like be into the whole Hebrew Israelite stuff back in the day, and then it just started to get a little weird and crazy. It's very hateful teachings and stuff. I'm just like, I can't do it. I gotta go. I gotta go. But yeah, I hope y'all enjoy your new moon energy. Don't sweat yourself too hard. Like, be easy on yourself. You ain't gotta do too much to like where it's like a chore, like, but our spiritual health, when we invest in ourselves spiritually and our spiritual wellness, it pays off. So, I appreciate you guys. Much love as always. Y'all be blessed. Y'all be safe. Take care. Until the next read. Peace.